Hello everybody, welcome back. What a week I've had. So we finished off the summer scented alchemy workshop, and what a workshop it was. It was so special. Honestly, I'm totally amazed by the magic these oils weave on people. Also, I did a pilot for a perfume alchemy. More about that later. Now, if you're interested in our autumn scented alchemy workshop, please go to our website for all the details. Today we're going to be talking about the history of essential oils. So if you like the content, please subscribe, like and share. So let's begin. I thought I'd now give you a little bit of historical context to the evolution of essential oils. So we start our journey in the 1st century BC with a lady called Maria the Jewess, and she was the first person to create a distillation unit called an ambix. Now, this was in ancient Egypt, and the Egyptians had already begun to use and create oils of blue lotus, for example. They used them for beauty and perfumery, but also for their spiritual journeying. They were the ones who taught the Greeks, who also founded temples of healing as well as of beauty. They taught the Romans, who were very, very fond of bathing. We all hear about Roman baths, and these essential oils were used in their rituals. Alongside that, you have the Ayurvedic tradition in India, where essential oils such as sandalwood and turmeric and vetiver were used. And then in China, you have the traditional medicine tradition, where oils of camphor and turpentine were used. Moving forward, you then have the Arabic alchemists, who then started to refine the distillation process, and they created a distillation unit called an alembic, which has lived on to the present day. So essential oils were primarily the domain of the alchemists, the herbalists and the chemists. They made perfumes, simple perfumes, ointments and salves. Now, when Catherine de Medici arrived in France, she was a huge advocate of perfumery, and she demanded that the glove makers of Grasse in Provence actually scented the gloves. Now, up until then, Grasse had been predominantly a tanning area that produced gloves, and actually, apparently the smell of the tan was putrid. And so they used to use things like flower petals to scent the gloves. Now, Medici, who had come from Italy, was well versed with the Arabic perfumes and demanded that the glove makers start to create perfumes. Now, initially, they started to grow the sort of local blooms. Weirdly enough, Grasse has a fabulous microclimate, and so it was very, very easy to grow these flowers like rose, like lavender, for example. Now, alongside this, you had the French East India Company that used to go around the world bringing back botanical specimens, and they started to bring back exotics like tuberose and jasmine, and soon Grasse actually proliferated into one of the main essential oil production areas. Now, moving forward from there, Louis XIV's court was incredibly fragrant, and one of the reasons for this is he actually hated bathing. He thought water actually spread disease, and so he insisted on everything within the court being highly fragrant to cover up the smell of body odour. But it was in the 17th century that there was a dramatic shift away from alchemical practices into more scientific practices with the essential oils into chemistry. This was actually spearheaded by people like Rene Descartes, whose mechanical view of nature suddenly spearheaded a need for empirical knowledge of everything. From there, if you look in 1868, this was the time the first aroma chemical was created. It was coumarin, which was produced from tonka bean, which is a very, very expensive material, and it kind of liberated, if you like, the whole perfume industry. Now, if you spin forward to the 1920s, you have Ernest Beau, who was a Russian-French perfumer, and he was the first person to start creating, including aldehydes in perfume, particularly when he created Chanel No. 5. Now this continued, and very soon most of the perfume industry was using a blend of naturals and aroma chemicals. So let's spin forward to around the 1950s, and this is when the use of essential oils started to emerge. There was a French field doctor called Jean Varnet, and also a Swiss biochemist called Margaret Maury. They combined their knowledge together and started to put essential oils together with a particular type of massage. Now, they came to the UK and they mentored my teacher, Micheline Arcier, and also a lady called Danielle Ryman. And this created the beginnings of the Western aromatherapy movement. And here, essential oils were not only used for their fragrance, but they were also used for their personality. This is the first time you have it emerging that each of these oils had therapeutic and emotional qualities that could be used. Alongside this, there was another type of use of the essential oils emerging, but it really didn't take foot till about the early 2000s, and this was natural perfumery, and this was spearheaded by a lady called Mandy Aftel, another person that I trained with from between 2008 to 2010. Her brand of Perfumery only use essential oils, absolutes and concretes, so there was not a synthetic in sight. If you're interested in essential oils or the difference between synthetic and pure, then please look at my Purity of Essence video. Here's the link, and there are a couple of other videos that you might find interesting too. Bye for now.